So now we're going to test the Scrapyard Scrapper 6. It's made of SR77 tool steel, which is, my understanding, it's a modified S7, which is supposed to be extremely tough stuff. Now this one was donated to me by someone, so it was slightly used, but it wasn't abused. The owner told me what he did with it, and it was nothing major. You can see the finish was slightly messed up on the tip. It hasn't been hit with any hammers or anything like that I'm aware of. It doesn't look like it has been. He didn't say it did. So the edge was a little bit on the dull side, so I touched it up a little bit on the stone, but not much, just a little bit to bring it back up. Now this one's got a convex edge on it, and it feels like it's got a pretty nice, pretty sharp edge that I was able to put back on it really quick. Didn't take much at all. Got a really, really nice handle on it. Really comfortable. Feels very, very secure. Okay, well, let's see what it can do. Okay, we'll start with the apple peeling test. Wait, cut. Okay, now this plate is really thick. I measured it, it was on my calipers, it was about .290 inches is what it measured out on my calipers. It's got a 6.5 inch long blade. Okay, we'll start with the apple peeling test. See how well it can do this job. Just to demonstrate some of its cutting potential. A little trouble getting it started, but once it gets started, it continues on through. Remember, again, these aren't paring knives I'm testing, but just to give you an idea of how well it can handle delicate tasks. Okay. Well, we still have all our apple left, most of it. You can see there's not much apple left on the peeling. Pretty much skinned it. Real close. Okay, not too bad on such a thick knife. Alright, we'll see how well we can slice the apple now. Okay, we'll see how well we can slice the apple now. thick like this, a blade wants to kind of twist out a little bit when you're cutting, so you got to kind of make sure you're cut in. You got to turn it in a little bit. And they're this thick. Alright. It's about like one of the thinnest slices we got. Okay. Alright, not too bad for that job. Alright, so far it survived the apple. But now we'll go ahead and baton through a 4x4. See how well it can do this task. Wedged in there. Yeah. It's tough. Sometimes you never know about these things. It's wood in nature, and sometimes they're tougher than the other ones. But that's the way it is. I just don't want to cooperate splitting. No matter what knife you got. Let's see. Finally. Okay, Well, it took some effort on that 4x4. That was a tough 4x4. Sometimes you never know about them. Gave us some really good, serious pounding though. Did the back of the handle. No damage to the grip. It's pretty tough. It's taking a little bit of effort to get through this webbing. Okay, well, it takes a little bit of pressure and effort to get through the webbing with a current edge on it. But now it can always be improved. And that's what I got to say about our Alvin knives. I test them when I do the cutting test. I test these knives basically out of the box with pretty much the factory edge on them. So factory edges can always be modified and bring up its level of cutting performance. But it is having trouble with that webbing compared to, say, like the Falkman A1. Okay, we'll do some chopping now. See how well this blade can chop. It's not doing too bad for its size. Okay, so far. Now it's taking some energy to get through it. The blade does have quite a bit of weight on it, but still with this size blade it's still taking some energy. I don't think it's chopping anywhere near as good as the A1 did on this size. Alright, we finally got through it. Okay, we're going to do some tip work and see if we can dig a hole through this 2x6. Nope, still no tip damage or breakage. Doing okay. Alright, I finally got all the way through. Have 0 tip damage, no breakage. Alright, now we'll stab through some sheet metal. This is fairly heavy gauge sheet metal that I'm going through. Came off of an old trailer you pull behind a lawnmower. Let's see how the tip works. Going through some really hard materials. So far, 0 tip damage. Just taking the finish off. Like I said, this is some pretty tough stuff, the sheet metal. No tip breakage. Wow. I broke the end of the tip off right there. I just barely had it in there and I just laid it over almost under its own weight. And I guess it was fractured and it broke right off. Like I said, I just had it in there and it fell out. I just kind of let it drop in it. So it must have broke on that impact as it went in. Okay. Well, that's... I'll tell you what. Let's go ahead and do a little more since we broke the tip. See if any more damage occurs. No more tip damage. Alright, well, I don't see any more tip damage other than what we already had. Okay, well, at this point we kind of snapped off the end of the tip on the sheet metal. Alright, now we're going to do some hammer impacts on the back of the spine using a 3-pound steel mallet. And we'll we'll start with the wood first. Alright, here we go. Alright. Put a few little nicks on the edge of the spine, but nothing serious. I didn't even really see any denting. Still together. Didn't break. Let's continue. Alright, so we just put a few dents on the back, nothing major. Blades still together. Took some really hard hits. Feels real solid. Now we're going to do some concrete. At this point we've broken off the tip, the very end of it. Took the hammer impacts pretty well. Its cutting performance hasn't been too great though. But like I said, that can always be improved anyway. Okay, let's try some concrete, see what happens. Alright. Just kind of dented the edge. Hold on just a second. I don't know. Looks like maybe we got a small chip right down here. But right here kind of looks like a chip. I don't think you can make that out a little bit. I don't know. Let's continue. Alright. It may not have been a chip, maybe it's been a dent. It's hard to tell sometimes, but it looks like it's just denting now. Okay. Yeah, we're really chipping up the edge now. Those are no longer dents, those are chips. Chipped it all up right there. Alright, let's continue. Same story. No more. I don't really see too much further damage. Just some denting. It chipped out though. We got a chip definitely right here. You see where the metal's been fractured out. All right, now this stuff is this concrete's pretty tough, but I used it on the GI Tanto and one other. This is tougher than the stuff I've been using. It's got rock, but the GI Tanto never chipped out. And I have to go back and remember what the other one was, but I don't know. Anyways, we got a chip. I kind of didn't expect this. All right, let's continue. Yeah, we did. We chipped it again. Right along in here, right there. We chipped it. You see where it's come up, chip separated. See where it's separated right here, where it chipped. Okay, let's see if we can do some hammer impacts on it. Really chipped up the edge. Let's go ahead and do some hammer, see if we can bust through this concrete. Just kind of split it. You see how bad we've chipped out the edge. Really torn it up. Oh. I can't get it to split that brick, but you can see it. We got some more tearing right here where it went in and tore. It's not doing anywhere near as most of the other good knives did on this type of stuff. It's taking some pretty good wax and it's holding together, but that edge, I mean, usually a lot of times they're just really dented up at this point. But this thing just keeps on chipping and tearing. So at this point we've broken off the tip. And we've really chipped up the edge and we dented it and we chipped it, but it's also got a big tear right here. I can see where it's starting to tear out. But it didn't do any. It still held together. It didn't break, but it didn't hold the edge. The steel didn't perform anywhere near as good as a lot of the other ones did. Now we're going to hammer the tip into this and see if we can break up this concrete just like we did with the Tanto and a few others. Same stuff. Now we don't have an exposed tang on here, so I don't know exactly how tough these back of these handles are, but we'll find out. Alright, here we go. Alright, we chipped the tip off anymore. We even broke it more now. See if you can take a look at this edge. See where it's torn right there? That didn't happen on the. It happened on the last time we pounded in the edge. See what happened? It's just chipping and it started to tear. You see the tear right there. Alright, we'll continue. No damage to the end of the handle. Pretty tough on that. Let's continue. We're still so far we're still together. Really broke off most of the tip though. Handle's pretty tough. We got a hole we're working into the end of it. Okay. Okay, well, I pretty much busted up that brick. You get the rebar out of it, just like we did in the other two tests. I use this stuff. Some tough concrete, but this knife doesn't exactly. It's tough. Don't get me wrong, but really the concrete kind of did a number on this edge. And that's not what I'm looking for. I'm just looking for a nice little denting. I'm not looking for this tearing like this. Really tore. Really chipped up and tore this right here. Okay, now we're going to do a body weight test. I've got the dog father mounted in the holder. And we'll put all my 225 pounds of weight on. I have it about 1 inch from the end of the handle, roughly. Alright, here we go. Got both feet off the ground. Definitely holding my weight. Bounce on it a little bit. Doesn't have too much play at all. Feels very secure. Alright, we'll do it again. Just sprung back up to true. Yeah, it's real secure. Feels very strong, very stable. Very stable. Okay. I'm going to move it out a little bit further. About an inch and a half. Okay. Okay, here we go. Got both feet off the ground. Bounce on it. Yeah, it feels very secure. Feels very, very secure. I'm bouncing on it. Let's see, take off. Yeah, cool. That's awesome. Very strong. Definitely stronger than the Falk of an A1. Without a doubt. Very, very secure. Bouncing, both feet off the ground. Put my foot out a little bit further. Give it a little more leverage. Feels very, very secure. Bouncing up and down on it, no breakage. Cool. Definitely very strong. Very strong. Awesome. Okay, now we'll do a flex test. And I've survived everything so far. It's taken a lot of edge damage though, and it's really chipped out and dented and torn. But we're still able to stand on it with all my full weight, with a blade inserted about an inch and a half out, and it still took all my weight. So it was really damn strong, even with some of the edge damage. So now we'll go ahead and do a flex test. I rigged this up to do a torque wrench, so we can see exactly how much torque we're putting on it. And I'll have to modify this setup a little bit later, but I didn't have time to do it. But anyways, this should give us an idea, see about how much it's flexing, and then, like I said, I'll improve it later. Okay, here we go. Got 20 pounds on it. Got 40 pounds on it. That's 60. Zoom out. Zoom in. What do we have almost on? Let me see what happened. Something happened here. I think my hole punched through it. Let me see. I think it's punched through. Okay, this time I put a gauge behind it so we can see it, and then we'll do the torque. We got it almost up to 100 pounds before what happens, I had a bolt through here to keep it secure, but it went through the rubber handle, the rest green handle. So I got a piece of metal in there now. So it's nice and secure and tight, and you shouldn't have that problem again. But so far it's been pretty damn far, man. And that's a lot of force. The blade is about 1.5 inches inside the vise. So here we go. $40.
It's almost at 30 degrees. With a little over 60 pounds of torque. Closing it on almost 40 degrees.
80 pounds. Alright, we got to 80 pounds that time. And about, how much, 40 degrees?
Yeah, about over here.
Okay. Let's do it again. Okay, here we go. about 80 pounds. £100. No, about 90.
90.
Blade still returns to true, or just about. That looks like it's pretty true. Alright, we'll do it again. $60. Call it the degrees.
Degrees about 30. About 40 degrees with at almost 100 pounds.
100 pounds. Okay, well, we had a problem that it's actually got 100 pounds of force, and it's actually twisting off the nuts on the on my tester, so I'm gonna have to modify that. But still, you get the idea, man. That thing's pretty damn stiff. It's got a lot of flexibility. We got up to about 100 pounds of force and about 40 degrees, roughly.
Yeah.
Roughly 40 degrees of flex, so that's a lot. That's not bad. Awesome. Okay. Cut. Okay, well, this is what it looks like so far. Pretty much destroyed the tip. Took a lot of edge damage on the concrete. You can actually see where it tore out. Did pretty damn good on the flex test and body weight test though. Very, very strong. There's no doubt about that. It can take a lot of lateral, has a lot of lateral strength. Much more than the A1 did. Okay. Well, even though we got some edge damage, let's see if we can hammer the edge through this steel and see if we can cut it. Most all the knives have been pretty well damaged at this point on the edge. They have no cutting capabilities left. But with brute force, with the hammer impacts, usually we can sever the metal. The Falkman A1 was able to do it, the GI Tanto was able to do it, and the Buck Nighthawk got through some metal too as well. So, same stuff. Usually I use 2-inch, but I don't have it, so I got this stuff about 1.25 inches. So I'll see if we can get through it. This is really the most brutal test that I can do. If it can get through this, if the knife's pretty damn solid. So let's give it a shot. Okay, had to change our camera angle. Here we go. Using a 3-pound steel mallet. Alright, we gotta reset this. Right here, let's look at this edge. You can see we've kind of torn out the edge a little bit more. But we sure aren't breaking it. Alright, we're going to continue on. Had to re-secure this. We're going to still try to go through the same cut. You see we tore out the edge, but we didn't break the blade. Still have not broken that blade, man. That is some tough shit. No doubt about it. Okay, well, we're still together. Throwing a lot at it. But now we're going to go ahead and place in the vise and do some side tang impacts. And see how much it can take. We're going to use a 3-pound steel mount, hit on the side. Ready? Here we go. Pull back, get a wide shot. Alright, here we go. Can't break it. Cannot break it. Damn. Oh yeah. Now you see we bent it from all the impacts on the side, but man, it never broke. The damage with the handle. Still won't go. Man. One tough blade. No doubt about it. Okay, well, it's gone through every test and it's succeeded. And it has not broken. So this one man is the first declared total survivor. So now I'm just going to try to throw anything at it I can to bust it. So we'll see what happens. I got some steel tubing rigged up over here, and I'm just going to put it up against it and see what happens. Put it up on the edge. It's some pretty heavy gauge stuff, and we'll see what happens. Like I said, this one's won, so it's gone through all the tests. I've thrown every brutal thing I can at it, and it has not broken. So now we're just going to have some fun. We got a good shot on that? Yeah, there we go. Okay, cool. Yeah, you see the tubing. So now we have a really screwed up edge. So we'll use the sharper edge right here, and we'll bang on we'll use the sharper area, since this edge is messed up, and we'll go down on the end, near the point where the drop is. We'll see what happens. Look at that shit, man. God. Almost went all the way through it. Yeah, we tore out the edge right there. But man, I mean, we almost cut straight through that freaking tubing there, man. I wouldn't even know go through it when we're on the weld. Let's see if we can do it on the remaining portion down here. See if we can get through. Damn, we finally broke it. Unbelievable.
Good luck getting that piece out.
It's in there tight. Oh man. That is crazy stuff, man. You see how thick this is. That is a super beast of a knife. Amazing. Okay, well, there we have it. Overall, man, it did really well. We did our initial cutting, didn't do too good well on the webbing, but that's okay. I mean, you can reprofile the edge on a knife, so that's no big deal. Like I said, these aren't cutting tests mainly. I just do it to demonstrate what they look like out of the come out of the factory with an edge. We had a little trouble batoning with it through the 4x4, but we did. Pretty much banged the hell out of a piece of wood. That's no big deal. We moved up to the concrete, and it did some interesting things on the edge on the concrete. We kind of chipped it, we dented it, and we tore it. So we kind of did all three combination of damage to it, and but it held up and it didn't contribute to any blade failure. And then we did the stand-in test, and it supported all my 225 pounds of balancing load. It's very, very strong and solid. Supports a lot of weight with no problems. We did the tip work with it. We dug through a 2x6. Did well at that. We didn't have any tip damage. we hammered it into concrete, and then we had some blending on the tip. We kind of chipped it a little bit more on the, but it stopped basically. But we still really blended the tip down. And we broke the tip initially on the sheet metal, where it just kind of snapped off. So it kind of seems a little brittle because we did do some chipping compared to some of the other knives, but it didn't seem to contribute to any like structural fatigue mainly. And like I said, we had a combination of chipping, denting, and tearing. We had all three. And but you could clearly see in the video, I mean, how much of a pounding we gave this thing. And it took some very, very extreme methods of going into the tubing to finally get this thing to go. We almost cut all the way through both sections of it. And that's pretty impressive, to be able to take that kind of punishment and hold together. Did a flex test. The flex test was pretty awesome. It actually broke my torque tester almost because we were putting so much on it. You know, we got about 100 foot-pounds of torque and about close to 40 degrees on the flex. So that's pretty impressive. The handle, we tried to break the tang on the side impacts, couldn't do it. I mean, I hit it with everything I had and I could not break it. There was just no way that thing was going to go. Pretty impressive. So yeah, this one passed all the initial tests just fine. So yeah, this one it survived all the initial tests, as I say. So yeah, it was declared a full winner of the test, without a doubt. So it's a true survivor. It's a super beast of a knife. So fantastic.
Okay.
Okay, well, so long from KnifeTest.com. Happy Halloween.